My name is James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Habit number 2. The following video is not for children. It will contain explicit language. So, if you are a child, please don't watch this video. I'm not asking you not to watch this video because I'm being a dick. I'm asking you not to watch this video because there are some things in the world that you can wait your time for your parents to teach you. Alright? This video is, the topic is basically racism. Alright, and in light of the things that is about to be going down here in Charlottesville, Virginia, which is why I'm making this video. And then, this very well may become a two-parter. It may not become a two-parter. Because time is not on my side. Plus, I have to get ready to go to hell to work after I get my nieces off the bus. So, let me make it perfectly clear as I can possibly make it. Alright? Because there are things in this world that we adults unfortunately do. And instead of teaching our children right from wrong, we consistently do the opposite. Because sometimes doing the right thing seems to be a crime to some people that I know. And instead of us trying to fix the problem, we try to avoid fixing the problem. And by doing that, we actually tend to make the problem a tad bit worse than when we started. And why is that? Male pride? Mixed pride and shame? What is it that makes us, instead of doing the right thing, do what we want to do? And now we can begin. My name is James Williams Jr. And if you are one of the 54 people who have been watching me and following me on this journey of Kung Fu Habit number 2, then you should know that I touch on some things that people don't want to really talk about. They don't want to address it because of the cowardness that is. Alright, so the young man who came from wherever he came from and plowed through a bunch of people is about to go on trial here in Charlottesville, Virginia. I do not have my eye in the sky as much as I would love to have that. You know, I don't have a whole lot of connections to where I can get specific updates on certain truths and consequences. But what I can do is say what needs to be said. And what basically needs to be said is really quite simple. We need to teach our children right from wrong. We need to make sure that shit like this happening August the 11th never happens again. Yes, I'm not playing Toon Blast. I'm playing Mansion Escapes. So that we won't be doing like Ryan Reynolds. Which is awesome commercials, by the way. We tend to take the little things for granted. No, we do. We don't tend to think, well, what consequences do I have by going to another city with people who don't know who I am, and just to saying, hey, I'm going to plow through a pile of people because of the color of their skin. And what I stand for is violence against people for the one thing that they can't change, no matter who they are, no matter what they are. There are some things you can't change. Now, science has proven me wrong on many of occasions, because you can change your gender. You can get that fixed. But you cannot change your race. That is that one of those inevitability things that no matter what you do, you can't change that. Now, the appropriate amount of skin bleaching and all that other bullshit that you want to believe may work. I'm not so deep into science that I'm willing to risk my health to not be a person that God made me to be. And I'll be the first to tell you, there have been plenty of times when I hated being black. Most of the times, those involved pretty women who were not allowed to date out of their race. That being said, we will move on now. Racism is a strong, unescapable, dying Sith. Or sieve. Blister, a boil, a problem that we just won't fucking address. And we won't address it because the cowardly thing to do would be to face the shit head on. And the reason why I said it was the cowardly thing to do, you guys pretty much can understand it. If racism wasn't the cowardly thing to do, that the problem probably would have been solved by now. You know, people can't help what color skin they're born in. You don't get that option during creation. You don't. And for us to not know that, accept that, and be willing to deal with it has become a big time clusterfuck. You know, and the problem with that is that I'm not the only one who notices it. I'm just the only one man enough to say something about the shit. Because it's the truth. We don't address racism. We don't. We look at it. We dabble with it a little bit. But when it comes down to the hardcore facts, racism doesn't have to happen. We allow it to happen. Because our inability to look each other in the face and just take on it. We don't try to embrace our differences. We want to fight over things that no one can really change. No, I can't wake up tomorrow and be a full-blooded Native American man. I also can't wake up tomorrow and be a white man. It's not going to happen. Scientifically, it's probably feasible, but probably not possible. Then again, science has proven me wrong before. Well, for the sake of argument, if we could all wake up and be somebody different, of a different ethnicity or a different color, 9 times out of 10, the only people who would change their skin color would be blacks and Asians. That's pretty much it. But that's also because systemically, we have been told and taught from a young age who the hell's in charge. I'm not trying to offend anybody white because a lot of white people got hurt that day by a white dude who hate black people. And one lady in particular who lost her life, but that this dude is sitting in a prison cell right now, and I don't really think he should see the light of day. He's a young man, he's like 20-something years old. He threw his life away to run over people with a car. Came to another state, and he's worried about not having a fair trial or judiciary system of due process. Those people who you ran over with the car were just walking down the street, and even though they were in the anti-protest movement, they did not ask to get ran over by a car. And Miss Hire damn sure didn't ask to be taken out and killed by this jackass driving a car. And this guy's going on trial starting after Thanksgiving, I think, or either this week. I'm not really sure. But one thing about racism is that until we all confront it, not just within ourselves, but within everyone else, without throwing fisticuffs, we will never solve this problem. And it's not that we don't want to solve this problem, it's just a majority versus the minority. The majority don't give a fuck. Hey nigger, hey honky, hey chief, hey chink, hey spick, hey gook, hey wetback. Those names sound familiar? Yeah, those are racist verbs directed at people of those ethnic backgrounds. Why? Oh, I know why. Because no one's taught us not to do that. And the few of us who have been taught not to do that, most of us are mixed. So we walk that thin line of, I got a white parent and I understand the white views. I have a black parent, I understand the black views. But my white parent is above my black parent when it comes to politics, because my white parent is seen as one of them, where my black parent and myself will not be. Now, here's the thing on that. The reason why I did black and white, because that made it easier, because I'm actually mixed. So, being that I'm part Native American as well as black and white, it's a big old clusterfuck of, we don't know what you are, James. We can look at you and see that you're something, or that you're mixed with something, but we don't officially know what you are. And racism comes on both sides, from both camps, from any degree. I've had reverse racism put on me by blacks. I've had racism put on me by whites. I've had a majority of an equal amount from both sides. I've only had a bad racial Native American experience one time. So by the grace of God, that was one time. You know, and I relate more with my Native American side than my black side or my white side. And it still is an issue for everyone else. So where do we go? What do we do? How do we fix the unfixable? Well, first off, we need to stop believing that it's unfixable. Nothing is unfixable. People just don't want to work on fixing it. Now you see where the clusterfuck comes in. You know, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And that's how a lot of people view it. It's not broken. Oh, this system's broken. Don't worry, the system's always been broken. That's nothing new. The problem is, few of us are willing to recognize that the system is broken. And those are the few who the system doesn't affect, whether it's broken or not. If it doesn't affect us directly, we're not going to worry about it. That tends to span more truth than not. You know, just depends on who you ask and where they stand in that situation. Most people are on the fence. Let me explain to you why most people are on the fence. I learned a lot in my youth about why people are on the fence when it comes to racism. One, the fear of how someone is going to accept your views will always be there. It will always be a factor, it will always be a problem, and you're going to have to deal with it. You're not going to like it, but you're going to have to deal with it. Because one way or the other, it's going to be some kind of conflict that will force your hand, and you will have to make the hard choice that you probably don't want to make. Why am I saying this? Because of the truth. The truth of the matter is that racism won't go away until we all confront it as a group of human beings and not some bunny rabbits with their heads cut off thinking, hey, racism doesn't exist. Oh, that should exist. Look at TV. There's not a lot of people like me being represented on TV. There's not a lot of people who's half Native American, half black, and half white being represented on TV. There's not. There have been Native American representation on TV. There has been black representation on TV. There's been Asian representation on TV. And there has been white representation on TV. But when it comes down to multicultural people or biracial people, where are we at? We ain't here. We don't exist. Well, that's not fair. However, that does not change the fact that that's how it is. And again, like I said, until we actually openly are willing to confront it, it will never be confronted. And it will remain a top mainstream issue. Makes good stories. But you know, if it's only going to be a story, and it's not going to make a difference, then it doesn't even need to be a story worth telling. However, we as people, that is one race of people, but as people in general, as a whole universe of different ethnic backgrounds and things like that, why do we hate each other? Racism is hate. It's just hate spelled a different way. Hate only has 4 letters. Racism has at least 5. Maybe more because I can't spell worth a damn, so we're going to go with racism has 5 letters. But the fact of the matter is, until we all embrace the things that divide us, then we will never unite by the things that unite us, which is basically the same thing, which is really simple if y'all pay attention. I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are. We all want to have a clean ass, so we wash. We all want to have fresh breath so we can kiss beautiful girls, so we brush our fucking teeth. You know? We all want to try to survive and get along, which really isn't that difficult if you just don't be a douche about it. Problem is, there's more people who would much rather be a douche about it than actually accomplish a goal and setting humans' standards a little bit higher. You know? It's hard to set the standards when you don't want to follow the standards. You know? Same thing about that practicing what you preach shit. You know? And you should know how well that works out. because thousands of us don't practice what we preach. And the ones that do, oh well, we get the best judgment because we're honest, so we totally suck at everything. And that's just the way it is. Now, I want to end the video because God knows I need a nap. But I want you guys to look in the mirror. I want you guys to think long and hard about the last racist experience you had. Doesn't matter when it was in your life, but if you've had one, you generally never forget it. No. And 9 times out of 10, no. After you have a racist experience, you look at the world a little different. You really do. You may think that you won't, but you will. You will look at the world in a totally different aspect of life. And you would think, wow, people really do this shit. And yes they do. And why? Why do they do it? Stereotypes? Hatred? Jealousy? Is it really an excuse to do it? Of course not. But why try to go about shit the right way when you can just start fighting? You know? I mean, what the hell difference does it make? I punch you, you punch me, things go from bad to worse. Eventually one of us goes to the hospital and one of us goes to the morgue. And again, this happens because no one wants to communicate. No one wants to learn from their mistakes. And we all just want to pass judgment. And that's how we get into these fixes in the first place. Now, if I may play devil's advocate, when the Unite the Right thing happened here in Charlottesville, to the city's credit, the city did everything it could to prevent it. As up to the day it happened, they were telling everybody and their mamas, don't come to this shit. Don't feed a fucking inferno. Obviously that fell on deaf ears because a young lady lost her life, some police officers lost their life, and all this shit, truthfully, was over some goddamn statues. Imagine that. You're walking in the street supporting your friend's cause because they're people of color and they aren't treated well and all of this crap. You die because some little jackass didn't want to see a statue of some Confederate motherfucking damn soldiers in the city. Well, here's a tip. I'm half Native American. I don't like the way the Sacagawea is portrayed behind Lewis and Clark and kneeling behind them. But I'm not going to go and gather a flock of people and stand around for them to remove the statue or fix it to where Sacagawea got her arms crossed, standing in front of the crowd, or got her arm pointed out and telling everybody we're going west. And that'll start that problem. Anyway, let me end this video because somebody came in hollering and screaming and they clearly can't see my damn lights. Racism can be fixed. It's up to you and everyone else to make a damn difference. I'm James Williams Jr. Be seeing you.